Hello, welcome to Cinephile Entertainment. I'm the Cinephile critic, and today I'll be reviewing this movie. You seem like you know a lot. 8-year-olds know everything. The Meg. So The Meg is directed by John Turturro and stars Jason Statham as Jonas Taylor, Ruby Rose as Jack Hurd, Ling Bingbing as Sunny, Ronan Wilson as Jack Morrison, Cliff Curtis as Jane, Robert Taylor as Dr. Heller, and Paige Kennedy as DJ. So The Meg is a really interesting film. One of the things that it does very effectively is it uses practical and special effects together to create, the shark that we see. And it's really interesting because what happens is, there's the Marina Trench, and which is the deepest part of the ocean. These marine biologists has discovered a deeper part of the ocean than once was thought, and it's kind of next to the Marina Trench, but it's it goes like deeper. There's this like underworld place that has never been discovered, and it's just now being discovered, and they're going to explore. And so what you have is a group of scientists that go to this particular part, and they realize that there are certain things that they once thought extinct still lives there, and through human error is trying to get up and escape. They allow a passage for a few of the prehistoric animals to escape by. One thing I will say about this one is there's a lot of depth. The characters are layered, and there's a lot of philosophical questions about, human error, the things that we impact on ourselves, and how that affects, the wider wildlife, and what we can do in order to, combat that, and how we can help, our environment. It's a good modern version or good modern take on a classic story with a bit more themes running through it, and so much, and a lot of layers that you just want to just lift up and just look at it and analyze. I would say that this is actually a really decent movie. That is what I would have liked to have said about this film. But this film is none of that. It's nothing to do, nowhere near Jaws level, absolutely not. But what this film does do, and this film does very well, is follow its predecessors, which are, all of these films that are really terrible shark films. And that's what this film actually does. It picks up where the last bad shark movie left off. I will do a review about this film, but since the producers, the writers, the directors didn't care about this film, neither am I. So I'm not going to do a review as my usual review for this film. I'm going to read this film for the filth that this film is. Now, there's no acting in this film. All you have is people standing around saying lines, some people posing, you got static, white noise. Nothing really, nothing to say that there's a script for this film. There's no direction. The direction in this film is it's absolutely terrible. Now, there's not one actor in this film that does a decent job. I mean, everybody is terrible. And even the 8-year-old, even the child in this film is so bad. Everybody in this film is bad. Everybody's kind of like a caricature of their stereotypes in this film. So you've got the Asian people, and then you've got the white people, and then you've got the badass type of people. And one of the things that I really hated about this film is there's a black guy in there called DJ. This token black guy, you know, the one that's supposed to be, you know, the one that was in Get Out, and he had his friend that was, you know, airport security, and his friend was that comic relief, and he was kind of like the guy that like the audience would have been saying to, you know, if they had a friend in that situation, like, yo man, these people are crazy, get out, you know. So he was kind of like the comic relief, that guy in Get Out. Well, this guy, this black guy in this movie is trying to imitate that type of energy. But his energy is suited in another film, and he would have been better placed, you know, playing a black guy, playing a white guy, interpreting what a black guy acts like in, you know, Birth of a Nation. Not the one that Nate Turner done, you know, the one where he was freeing the slaves. No, no, no. The first film that ever came out, black people sort of not too long ago came out from slavery. And so you had this film called Birth of a Nation and the justification of white supremacy. But because black people weren't allowed to be in films, what they did was they had a white guy interpret what a black guy acts like in that film. And so this is what DJ's character is like. He's Sambo characters, you know, the Uncle Tom's, the coon guy. Yes, this is that guy. And for personally, I think that, you know, his energy, if he wants to interpret what black guys do, should have been in Birth of a Nation, because, I mean, you had a white guy interpret what a black guy does. So, me personally, he's no different. My thing is, where is your dignity? You know, where is the... Can we change the script up a bit? Can I not look so dumb? Can I look like I at least know what I'm doing? Can I not look like I'm the token black guy? Oh no, but that's too much, right? And that part of the film is not even my least annoying part. No, no, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. You know what's my annoying part? The animals, okay? So you have this so-called prehistoric megalodon that is, you know, that has a type of diet that he eats. You know, every animal has, depending on where they live, have a particular type of diet. Now, some animals can adapt their diet, like rats, which makes them very like savvy in terms of survival. And some animals cannot adapt their diet, which makes them prone to being extinct. So when something like a megalodon will have a type of diet that it eats, you know, everything has its type of thing. So for example, the blue whale, one of the biggest creatures ever to live, eats krill and eats tons of the stuff, okay? Humpback whales, they can eat sardines. They have a more varied diet, but they can eat sardines. When you look at animals in the sea, even though they don't speak the way how we speak, you know, the bigger the brain, the more intelligent the animal is. So tell me this, why would a squid be trying to eat a submarine? The tentacles for the squid is very sensitive. So they can feel pulse, they can feel its flesh, they can feel it if it's the type of food that they usually eat. And because you're so deep in the ocean, the sun is not there, so they can't see, so they use by feeling. Now, why would a squid try to eat a submarine that is not even living, doesn't have a pulse? No, but the film can't explain that. Now, tell me this as well. Why would the megalodon know what light is and know that's a food source? Because, you know, some rocks in the ocean, because of the kind of algae that's on them, cause them to illuminate. I don't see any animals trying to eat a rock. Why would it be interested in human beings? I mean, this animal spends more time on the surface than it does in the deep ocean, which makes no sense because it's never been in this particular part of the ocean before. So why would it spend most of its time hunting prey that doesn't matter? Not only that, but how much do you need to eat in order to feel satisfied? An anaconda, which is a snake that continues to grow and grow and grow, you know, there has been instances of it eating deers, like a massive deer. But when it eats that said deer, What then tends to transpire is that thing is not going to be hungry for about 9 months to a year. Bigger megalodon eats a smaller megalodon, which is still a megalodon. Why the next minute is he going to be wanting to snack on humans? But this megalodon just literally ate another megalodon and it's still hungry. Not only if it's eating a megalodon, it's eating whales. It's just eating all types of food. And apparently this thing has a bottomless stomach. You know, usually I don't like going in on films because even a bad film, there's usually like people's time has gone in it. And some people have actually believed in that project. It just never came out the way how they expected, or because of organization. You know, things kind of sort of fell apart at the seam, or they didn't film the film that they were intended to film. So I like to be respectful for people's time, because some people, you know, just because it's a bad film doesn't mean that the person went out of his way to make a bad film. They went out of their way to make a film, you know, hopefully a good film, but it just never happened that way. This is not the case. They set out to make a bad film. They made a bad film, and this film makes no sense. It's not trying to make sense. It's therefore to be a spectating type of film. It's not there to be watched and enjoyed. It's there to be antagonizing, annoying, and how dare you waste my time type of film. Like, I can't believe I just watched this film. It just wasted my time. And like, it's weird because this film is really targeted to China. I don't understand with Western countries when it comes to marketing films in China that they believe that Chinese people don't deserve quality, but that's not down to me. That's down to the people in charge of this film. It's trash. I mean, this film is like, you know, you have different types of shit. You have dog shit, and then you have, you know, horse manure, because it's, you know, it's like a bigger pile of it. But this is, you know, this is prehistoric shit. This is like long neck, because that's like the biggest animal that's ever like to live on land. Took a shit. That's what this film. That's how much of a shit show this film is. You know, long neck pile of shit. That's how bad this film is. I'm not even going to rate this film because it doesn't even deserve a rating. Even the bottom rating of this film is too good for it. The bottom rating of this film is too good for it. This film is garbage. It's a long neck pile of shit. This film is. It's just full of it, and it's just really annoying. But anyway, this film's wasting my time. But anyway, I hope you haven't seen this film. Tell me another bad film that you've seen that you're like, oh my god, they're still doing it. Say what you want to say about Transformers and how bad that franchise is. Well, that franchise started, what, in the 2000s? So it's about a decade and a half Transformers has been going on. Whereas Jaws came out in the 70s. Jaws 1, 2, and 3, you know, I don't see them as bad films. You know, the sequels are not as good as the first one, but they're not bad films at all. But after that, it's just a shit show of bad shark films. Just bad shark films. And you know what? You know the weird thing about it? They keep on making them. Oh, God. Can we just stop? Can we? Can we put the money somewhere else? I'm just really annoyed with this film because it really irritates me that a film like this can get made. A film like this can get money put behind it. But you have, you know, more smaller indie films that have integrity, that have its story, that has, you know, depth in terms of characters and narration, that has, you know, that wants to, you know, direct in like in an artistic way, and let, you know, the scene setup and the camera angles also be a part of the story. That you have films that are out there and they have to dig and dig to try and get their films made, but something like this gets money put behind it. Let's get this conversation started. Shittest film that you have ever seen, like the type of long neck, the type of shit that only long neck can do type of films. Just everything about it is just terrible. Let me know. Let's get this conversation started. And thank you for watching my rant about this film. If you like what you saw, please click down and subscribe. If not, if you're like, oh, I need to see more, then hopefully I'll see you again. And remember, until next time, keep safe.